Hi there, VC. It's Steve Whitty here. Sunday the 3rd of June. Sun is shining. Day the Midlands Fun Run is happening in my hometown. Don't worry, I'm not going to be running. I'm going to be spending my time in the city of Birmingham. There's a vegan food fair going on, so I'm going to give that a go. This is a recent finds video. So I've got quite a fair bit. I've got a fair bit from charity shops that were sort of culling stuff, which I got next to nothing really. So without further ado, I'll show you first the singles, and then I'll just go through the albums. So I brought about, I think, seven-inch singles. So first one up is Badfinger, Day After Day, which was their last top 10 hit in the UK. Bebop Deluxe, Ships in the Night, which was their biggest hit single. I think just cracked in the top 40 in the UK. This is Beatles' Hey Jude. I think it was the first release on Apple, I'm not sure. With Backed by Revolution. Climax Blues Band, Couldn't Get It Right, which was their biggest hit single. I'm not sure if it was a hit in the States, but it's top 10 in the UK in 1976. Sparks, Never Turn Your Back on Mother Earth, which came out in 1974, hit single for them. I was pleased to find this. It's Ringo Starr, Back Off Boogaloo, produced by George Harrison. This is on, if I just quickly show it. Well, actually, it's got the blue Apple label. And I've had it quoted, this is by far probably Ringo's best track. And then Little Steven, Bitter Fruit. And then an EP by Nazareth called Hot Tracks, which features Love's Hurts, This Flight Tonight, Broken Down Angel, and Hair of the Dog. So, yeah, nice batch of singles there. Put those out of the way there. So, going through the albums, as I said, quite a lot of charity shop, sort of a bit culling going on in one charity shop. So I just help myself to a little cost just to get these. Some comedy. This is playing this last night. The inimitable George Formby. George Formby was a British comedian, very popular during the wartime. Came across as played in movies as a sort of gormless chap from north of England that always seemed to, for some, sort the problem out and get the girl. He's famous as a singer with what's called, and I'll show you, as a banjolele, which was a combination of banjo and ukulele. And this album's got his most famous songs, Leaning on a Lamppost and The Window Cleaner, Mr. Woo's a Window Cleaner and a little bit Blackpool Rock. He was Britain's biggest earning artist at that time, and he toured around the empire, and particularly in South Africa. And this was just at the time when apartheid was kicking in, and Formby, his wife Beryl, was a formidable woman, ruled him with a rod of iron, and they refused to play to segregated audiences. Well, when a picture appeared of Beryl receiving a box of chocolates from a coloured girl, and the head of the National Party at the time, I think it might have been the Prime Minister, phoned up to complain, and to which Beryl told him, "Why don't you piss off, you horrible little man?" So that's one way of dealing with bigotry. More British comedy, and I've shown these before. Best of the Goon Show, Milligan, Seacombe, Sellers. Not more to say about that. Another bit of comedy. This is Best Around the Horn, featuring Kenneth Horne, Kenneth Williams, Hugh Peddick, Betty Marsden and Bill Pertwee, and Douglas Smith. Round the Horn, it's radio comedy, and this ran in the mid to late 60s before Kenneth Horne died. Kenneth Horne was actually fascinating because he stumbled into entertainment by accident. He was a businessman, and he was chief executive chairman of quite some big companies at the time. Chad Valley springs to mind, a toy maker. But he stumbled this into the comedy in the war, and around his deadpan style just made this program. But this program was so full of innuendo. It was written by Marty Feldman and Barry Tuck, and it's so full of innuendo. And what even made it, this was 18 million people used to listen to this on a Sunday lunchtime. This was Sunday lunchtime listening essential. Just classic comedy. It's always repeated on BBC Radio 4 Extra. And something more up-to-date comedy-wise, this is Rowan Atkinson's Live in Belfast. Came out in 1983, I think. No, 1980, sorry, I got that wrong. Atkinson's just starting to get popularity with Not the 9 O'Clock News. Best sketch, Father the Bride. Absolutely hilarious. It's worth checking out if you've never listened to Rowan Atkinson stand-up. I'm just going to quickly go things with these. Soundtrack, Paint Your Wagon. It's got Wandering Star on it, so add that. This is the music to accompany the television programme Singing Detective. This is Dennis Potter, written by Dennis Potter. Very controversial at its time. Potter was a controversial writer. This sort of intrigued me, that's why I picked it up. This is the Jazzing Bing Crosby. This is featuring recordings by Bing Crosby between 1927 and 1938. This is a German recording. Then I found some Burl Ives. It's a name I know. So this is the all-time ballad favourite, Burl Ives. This is on Beautiful United Artists. It's an American recording. And another Burl Ives. This is the Manhattan Troubadour. And then this one is Cheers with Burl Ives and the Ray Charles Singers. Andy Williams' Greatest Hits. There, I found that. And then got some comps. This is 20 Star Tracks. This came out in 1972, I believe, on the Ronco label. And this features Cat Stevens, Morning Has Broken, 3 Sweets on here, Mott the Hoople, Jethro Tull, Linda's Farm, Olivia Newton-John, Traffic doing a version of Give Me Some Loving, Procol Harum, Conquistador, Joe and Bias. Some cracking tracks on here. Another comp from 1980s called Star Tracks. This is on K-Tel. You've got here Vapors Turning Japanese, John Fox, Underpass, Regent 17, New Music, Living by Numbers, The Escape Song by Rupert Holmes, Green Onions by Booker T and NG's, Games About Frontiers, Peter Gabriel, Blondie. Some cracking tracks on here. On this one, and again on K-Tel, I can get it out. It's called Hot Wax. This again from 1980. So again, got Rainbow, Whitesnake, Judas Priest are on here. Corgis. Then you've got UB40, Food for Thought, Genesis, Turn It On Again, Secret Affair, My World, Martha and the Muffins. Some clacking tracks. And then this is from 1983 on the Ronco label. Wets on Fire, 20 Scorching Tracks. War Baby by Tom Robinson's on here. Heaven 17, Temptation, Eurythmics, Flash in the Pan, Waiting for the Train. Mike Oldfield on here, Kissing the Pink. Toto, I Won't Hold You Back. Some nice puff. And then from the Hits album 7, double album, you've got Beastie Boy, She's On It. Full Metal Jacket. The drill, I Want to Be Your Drill Instructor, which I think the guy who played the drill instructor in Full Metal Jacket's just recently passed away. We've got Prince on here, Pseudo Echo, their version of Funky Town. Who else? Aha, Living Daylights, Wax, Bridge to Your Heart, Sisters of Mercy, Nina Simone. Some corking stuff. And then Love at the Movies, which came out in 1990. Time of My Life, It Must Be Love, Wicked Game, Unchained Melody. So then moving on, 12-inch single found, Public Image Limited, This Is Not a Love Song. So you've got that. You got that on side. Blue Water, a remix version, This Is Not a Love Song, and Public Image. I've got this as 7-inch, but to see it as a 12-inch, I thought I'll take that. Best of the Beach Boys compilation. I can't think when it came out. This is a mono version, mono copy, but this is on the Black Capital label. I won't, tracks are on there, so you don't need to know what that is. John Paul Young, Heaven Sent. This came out in '79. This is after Love Is in the Air. This features all songs Vanda and Young. Fascinating documentary about Albert Productions in Australia. Basically, Vanda and Young were the sort of like the house writers for that band. After being in the Easy Beats, they stayed in London for a bit, couldn't get anywhere, invited back to Australia, and then obviously produced AC/DC, but they were also writing hits for Australian artists as well. And obviously Flash in the Pan, I mentioned in one of the comps. Sky 3. I had showed you Sky 1 and 2, I'll give Sky 3 a listen. Also a few weeks back showed you Judy Sooks, and this is her album The Cat Is Out, and this is from 1985. This is Steely Dan. This is on a budget Pickwick label, so I'm not sure. This is probably some of the early stuff, some of the more folky stuff. It's featuring John Barleycorn's on here, The Weaver, Saucy Sailor. So very sort of like traditional, more focus on the traditional side. Pleased to find this. I remember this in the 80s. This is a Steely Dan comp, Reeling in the Years, double album. Came out mid-80s. Sort of like just to remind people about Steely Dan, had obviously long split by that time. 1985 this came out. Let's do it again. You can see the tracks there, so you can see what you've got there. And this is my local record shop for £1. This is Pat Benatar's Getting Nervous. It's one album first I hadn't got. Shadows of the Night and Anxiety. And she toured in the UK first time on the back of this album. And considering she didn't have much success at the time, she sold out all her gigs. I picked this up. I'm going to show you this on there. This is Free's Heartbreaker. This is an original pressing from 1972. Really pleased to have that. On the back of picking up Free Live last week. Picked up also Def Leppard's On Through the Night debut album from 1980. In a ways, I enjoy listening to this more than I probably do Hysteria. But really, really good album. I can see why they were looked much lauded at the time. Rock Brigade, Wasted, Hello America, Sorrow as a Woman. Yeah, some great tracks on there. It's a shame they don't really play that much of it. Tears for Fears, The Hurting, debut album. Mad World, Pale Shelter, the two hits from here. And yesterday I had a bit of a kick, Elvis Costello kick. These were all £5 each. Elvis Costello and the Attractions, Get Happy from 1980. Best known track, I Can't Stand Up for Falling Down. The first release on F-Beat. And then you've got Punch the Clock from 1983. Every Day I Write the Book. Shipbuilding. Pills and Soap. Pills and Soap was written sort of as a protest on Margaret Thatcher winning a landslide general election, which come as a bit of a shock to. Well, it didn't come as a shock. It was on the back of the Falklands, and that's where shipbuilding come from. So it's very much at the start of an angry sounding album. And then finally on the record front, Blood and Chocolate by Elvis Costello and the Attractions. This is, I'm trying to think, 1986. This is on Demon, and on the album he's credited himself as Napoleon Dynamite. Elvis Costello did go through a phase where he didn't want to be known as Elvis Costello anymore. Iwava wanted to be known as Napoleon Dynamite or Declan McManus. On here, I Want You is probably the best known track on here. It's an album I've never listened to, but I know James Griffiths was playing this yesterday and he put the photo on it. So always pleased to update my Elvis Costello collection. I'm sort of rushing this a little bit. Let me just have a quick swig. Yesterday marked a bit of an end of an era. My local record store, it was the last day at its current premises. For 2 years he's been in the market in the town centre, but due to when he a hint of having his rents put up, he decided to have a look where else he could go. And in 2 weeks time, he's going to be opening up again in Bolmere, which is not far from me. It's part of Sutton, but it's got a high street and it's quite an up and coming little area. It's got cafe bars, craft beer places. It's a place where people can walk up and down and notice the shop, whereas the other shop was inside a market, and the market was just off the little way. So unless you knew about the shop, you didn't go in. And so Pete was sort of clearing up, and I showed this yesterday, but he'd had this for sale for ages and he hadn't got rid of it, so he let me have it. He gave it me, sort of an early birthday present. So my Disco Anti-Stats, I now got a cleaning machine. Still will wipe records down, but I know I've got some records that I need a good clean. I've just got, the only thing that was missing from it is the holder, but I'm sure I can find something to hold them in while they're drying. So I could see myself next week doing a bit of a clean. But hey, so VC, before I go, one other thing, I've not forgotten about my contest. I left the raffle tickets at work, so I've got to bring them home. So there will be a draw. Draw will be taking place this week. Entries have now closed, so don't bother putting any more in. You've missed the boat, so to speak. So we'll get that done for you next week. I hope everybody is well and enjoying themselves. So enjoy the weather. I've seen photos from the States as well. The weather's good there as well. So VC, until the next time, take care of yourselves. Keep spinning, but more importantly, oh, hang on, I haven't done my normal. You're new to the channel and you like what you see, click on the subscribe button. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Put a comment on, I'll always try and get back to you. And so, I will tell you now to take care of yourselves. Keep spinning and keep smiling. Until the next video, look after yourselves. Bye.